This video is going to be an update on my 1954 GMC M211. I took the original inline 6 out and put a 472 Cadillac in it with a turbo 400 transmission. There's the engine there. It has an aluminum Edelbrock intake, a Holley carburetor, and a HEI distributor from a later model. The engine's a 1968, and I had to cut the firewall a little bit back there to clear the valve covers, and then I just made new engine mounts for it, and I added a cross member for the transmission. There's the other engine mount down there. And I did use a factory radiator. I added 4 fans to the front of it, but that is the factory radiator that it came with. There's a side there. I added a overflow reservoir because the factory radiator is set up kind of weird, but I was able to use it. I did have to make a drive shaft to connect the turbo 400 to the transfer case. There's the drive shaft there, and there's that cross member I added right there. There's a factory transmission cross member. There's the side of it. Here's the other side. And the oil pan is off of a 500 out of a Eldorado, a front wheel drive, I believe, so that it'll give it enough clearance for the front axle there. Because under here, there's plenty of clearance from the front axle to the oil pan up there. There's the master cylinder there. And I do have the factory brake set up with the air assist. In this box here, I have a Harbor Freight air compressor and a small air tank. And it just runs off 12 volts. So it has a little pressure switch in the air tank. When it gets below 90 psi, it comes on and brings it back up to 120 and then shuts off. Here is the transmission cooler there. And it is a factory turbo 400. There's, kind of see it there. It came out of a motorhome. And it has about 50,000 miles on it. There it is. But I have not rebuilt it or anything. And I do have 2 stacks running up at the top. I got rid of the factory one. I still need to put bolts in there and spray paint over it. And I did have to add a shifter. I got rid of the factory. I got rid of the factory shifter that used to stand up here. They used to have a column that it bolted on. And I took and cut a hole in this floor panel here and welded a little thing on top of it so it would have enough clearance for the top of the transmission. Because the transmission comes up a couple inches out of the floor. And I did have to cut the firewall over there for the engine. And then this is just a cheap TCI shifter. That works pretty well for it. And I also added a Oshkosh Equipment 12 volt electric wiper. Turn it on here. The reason I added that and got rid of the factory air wipers is because I just have that one, just the electric air pump, so I wouldn't be able to run the factory wipers. There's a better view of the engine. And it does, with this engine, get a lot better fuel mileage. I was getting about 3 miles to the gallon. Now I'm getting a little bit over 9. That's a 1-wire alternator that also came off of the RV that I got the transmission out of.